Hi, welcome to the Women Talk Construction podcast. We are so glad that you're here with us today and lifting women up in the construction industry and really just bringing more women into awareness of what they can do and all the options that they have for jobs. We think that's the most important thing that we can do. And that's what our passion is, Angela and I at Women Talk Construction. Hey, Angela. It's good to
Hello,
see you here
Christy.
today.
I
Glad you're
know.
here to help.
Welcome to 2025, right?
Yes, yes, it is 2025 now. And today we have Sneha Kumari on our podcast. We're really excited about her. She's a mom, she's a wife, and she also is a modular and prefab construction genius. So, welcome, Sneha. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what was your passion that drove you to be such an impactor in our industry?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I have told you enough times that I am a fan of all you both do for our industry, for the women in our industry. So actually super proud of myself of to be here and be talking to you both. Thank you everyone who is listening from any time zone. I don't know, good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are. A little bit about myself, actually, a little bit about my journey. I actually started my career in manufacturing, and I have been in supply chain all my life. It wasn't something that I planned for. I was actually an engineer by trade. I did some engineering, but just naturally got involved in supply chain. And when I say supply chain, people just think about logistics or sometimes only
Mm-hmm.
procurement.
Mm-hmm.
Supply chain is anything and everything from the start of you making something to finally delivering it to the customers. And while I was doing that, I was very involved with technology very early on because supply chain, when you're in supply chain, you naturally, when I say technology, it could be Excel, it could be softwares, it could be ERPs. And then my big bang actually introduction really started when I learned more about data centers, data center
Mm.
construction, what goes in, making data centers and, things like that. And then on the side, I started doing stuff for modular and, prefab companies. My very first introduction to prefab was through a friend who was managing the operations for a prefab shop. I used to make wall panels and trusses, and I knew nothing about it. But I went to the plant, I stayed there, I saw the shop floor and things like that. But I think there was need for looking for manufacturing experts who knew lean, who knew about Six Sigma, about waste variation, who could come in and kind of revamp the shop floors and see what wastes are out there and things like that. That pretty much took me from manufacturing to construction. And when I came to this industry, I was like, wow, it's a $1 trillion industry, right? Much bigger, one of the bigger, if not like, after mining or something, right? So
Yes.
many people being employed, directly, indirectly related. Everyone lives in a home, right? So you're related somewhere. Like construction is some part of your life at any point.
Yes.
And I saw that we are so behind, right? It's technology wise, bringing women, being more inclusive as an industry and things like that. And it was like, yeah, we need to do something, but something about this, like, just took me here and let me stay here. And I kept, like, then prefab and then moved to modular, did some manufactured homes, mobile home, worked with some mobile home companies as well. And while doing this, I realized that, okay, technology wise, I thought manufacturing was behind, but construction was way, way behind, not just, in adoption. And I have to say that, and I say this, that I don't fully blame, um, our industry for,
No.
having that software fatigue. That's what I call it. It's also because there's not a lot of great softwares that were thrown at us, right?
No.
I myself have been involved in buying softwares, in installing, implementing them, and I know the pain, right? And so I
Mm-hmm.
decided, okay, why don't I go ahead? I have a good idea of what this looks like. I have worked enough in with technology in my sorry, in my experience. Why don't we I go ahead and build something? So I used to have very in-depth discussions with my brother. who is now my co-founder, about I wish I had this. I wish when I
Mm,
was running my floor, I wish this worked like that. And that's how the inception of the company Merlin AI started, where my brother is actually the tech brain. I am the domain expert here. And we are trying to build something specifically for our industry and make sure that it works. A lot of times you would see that we adopt tech that was born in some other industry, and we are
right.
trying to adapt and adopt it to our industry, which might not work the same way when you actually build something grounds up for our industry. So that's how the
Hmm.
whole inception started. But much before Merlin AI, I am a lean, a Six Sigma, a nerd. You can call me that. That's how I love visiting factories. I love talking to people. I still do future factory vision implementations for uh, factories out there, modular prefab factories. So I'm loving it, and I'm here for good. That's the goal. And if I can disrupt the industry in any small, teeny tiny way, I would find myself successful.
Wow,
That's
that's a
awesome.
yeah, yeah.
One of my favorite things to do. I've been in sales for building supplies for 32 years now. And one of my favorite things to do is be able to walk the manufacturing plants. And I always think the same kind of things, but I didn't have your brain, right, as far as like software goes. But I always found it very intriguing. And I also felt like it could be more just streamlined,
Yes.
right? Way back in the day. I haven't been able to walk a plant in a while. That's on me. I probably should. I travel a lot, but I've always thought it was so fascinating to be able to build on the inside of a building where you can contain the elements, and people want to be there, right? They're not cold, they're not wet, they're not freezing. And then you're also building a structure inside a building so that when you get it up on a job site, I sold a lot of panels and a lot of trusses over the years.
Mm,
And once you get it to the job site, just the time saving alone is just it was mind blowing to me, and that was years ago. So I can relate to that. I just wanted to share that. I really love that as well.
absolutely right. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. How about let's kick this off with a power packed question.
Mhm.
How is AI disrupting the modular and prefab construction work right now? Can you share with our audience a little bit about that?
Absolutely, in many, many ways, right? And I would say that, modular prefab in itself is a very cool technology, construction technology, right? In the way we are building, as Christy highlighted, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel our industry has been somewhat more patient with technology, and also more open with technology. Even the customers we have with Merlin AI, I see startups, like startups in modular factories, and I see established companies as well, very open to trying something new, and at least in the least wanting to learn more.
Right.
So I'm glad I'm part of the industry. In terms of disruption, I mean, there is every aspect of what we do when it comes to building a home, a commercial unit, whatever that is. AI plays a small part. I mean, I'm going to start with safety, right? uh, we have AR, augmented reality, virtual reality, all of that cool stuff. I'm sure wearable technology that you are seeing that can actually really truly track sometimes even the worker fatigue, what your environmental conditions are. Amazing stuff where our machine learning algorithms actually can predict even potential hazards if we keep training the data in the way that we want to, right? Smart scheduling, job shop scheduling, all of that. Some a part of project scheduling is something even we are utilizing AI for. Let's start with design and planning, right? We have some amazing great tools out there
Hmm.
with with so much data that we have around us. If
Yes.
we could use that data
Mm.
and start working with AI on that, uh, you could actually see, because we are humans, there's only so much that we can keep in our brains and actually process it. AI has the capability and ability to actually
Mm.
take that data, learn it, and actually give you um, uh, a lot of like process a lot of that data and give you meaningful information that
Mm-hmm.
helps with decision making, that actually helps predicting some of your patterns too, and that's important, right? So I said design and planning, um, anything like project management, scheduling, we are doing that. Predictive maintenance is a big deal. Like if you are sitting in a factory and if you have jigs and equipments, AI actually uses IoT, sensors, predictive analysis technology. It's so much fun to actually know that if you use what we do in our scheduling is, if we know, it's like a small ecosystem. If we know your supplier hasn't shipped materials, if you know your framer is not in today, how does your
Yes.
whole schedule move? If you were able to guess that a few days before this event
Mm-hmm.
was going to happen, how cool will that be, right? And why
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't
Mhm.
you be able to do that? People it's
Proactive
funny, I was
versus
in.
reactive.
Yes, yes, right. It's more about thinking ahead, and I think before us, technologies had done a great job of moving you from Excel to dashboards. AI is taking you to the next level. What it's
Mm-hmm.
doing is now taking the information, talking to you, and actually making things happen ahead of time, actually giving you trends. If I am able to see at a very minute level how I did in my single family versus my ADU versus rentals, AI can actually tell me that, okay, you made money here, you're not making money here based on your past projects. Why don't you focus on ADUs? I'm just making it up. But there's
Yeah.
so much power to be unpacked. I think we are just getting started. It's an
Mm-hmm.
amazing era, time to be a part of. And I'm excited that I'm playing a small role with my company here in this
I'm
world.
excited you are playing a small role, which is probably going to be a big role as people learn more about Merlin AI.
Thank
I
you.
love Merlin. I love the name because I love, we watch we love wizard shows. So we watched all of those wizard seasons.
Harry Potter.
Um,
I
yes,
love
all the
Harry Potter.
things. Yes.
My older one just started watching it, so it's just
Oh
the first.
yeah, love
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
So cool. Fantasy, love that fantasy type
Mhm.
show. Anyway, back to what we were talking about, the important things. Actually, I think, what we watch is probably pretty important too. Uh, you were talking a little bit about training and about planning and about just education, right?
Yes. Yes.
What do you see? What do you think? What do you see as the biggest barriers to being able to prepare, educate, train anybody that's willing to enter the construction industry?
Absolutely. I mean, and since we are, first of all, it's amazing to see all three of us women on this show right now. But I think being, education and training are pretty much a very, foundations of
Mm-hmm.
any, our workforce in any trade you are in. It doesn't matter if you're doing technology. It doesn't matter you're actually on the ground building home. You need to be trained, you need to be educated. And I just feel by modernizing programs, right, and addressing some of the barriers, also actively promoting women's participation, we
Yes.
can we can prep for this new Gen Z's and alphas, of skilled
Mm-hmm.
workers, like to our industry. And why not? We want to, right? We want to attract
Yeah,
this
because we
talent to our
love it.
industry. And the more and more tech adoption we see and probably address it, it's going to be a great place to be working at, right? I just feel like we have to start with leaders, right? So we
Yes.
need to do some leadership development. We need to understand that we have to be patient. We have to give it time where we are investing in upskilling our workforce, in reskilling our workforce, right? And that's not money wasted, right? We need to change
Right.
that mindset, right? We need to promote more and more women coming in. And for that, if there are some um, avenues where you either spend more money or take an extra step or extra effort, we need to do that. There are
Mm-hmm.
lots of women out there who probably don't even know that there is an amazing industry that exists. This is not, what with the myth that we say that, oh, it's it's dirty. There's not a lot of inclusivity. If
Yeah.
we keep like it's more of leadership developing, understanding, addressing, and being patient of this. I think mentorship is going to be huge for our industry, right? Connecting
Hmm.
experienced leaders, women leaders, male leaders, and connecting them with the Gen Zs of the world, or even your
Yes.
existing
Yes.
tiers of associates. I think that will be great. Creating support networks like yours, right,
Yes.
are some of the things that keep pondering my mind. In fact, we actually collaborated with New York Institute of Construction. So they have a center for offsite construction, and what we
Right.
want to do is, as students start coming in, they get exposed to AI. Right now,
Hmm.
we are ourselves a startup, right? So we are perfect in no means. We are working scrappily. We are growing fast.
Yeah.
Now, if I am able to meet those students at some point, they now are attracted. Oh, this industry uses AI. There are AI companies that exist. Now I'm going to learn more about technology. It's not just about building a home. So that kind of
Right.
excites them, right? And
Yes.
then they see value in that, in the way that when I come to this industry, I don't just learn the trade. I'm also up to date with what tech is going to offer.
Hmm.
So I think that is something that's going to be a unique combination. And I think you incorporating technology to even modernize your learning is going to play a big role too. So these are some of the things that I keep pondering, and I am all in for making sure that if we can support learning, upskilling in any way, whether it's hands-on training, virtual learning, certifications, degrees, going to colleges, promoting this firsthand, we would like to be a part of it, in all shapes and form.
Right. Well, and that
Mm.
answered probably the next three questions Angela
Yeah.
and I had on
I
this
saw
on the
yeah.
schedule. So, Angela, why don't you go ahead and ask her that last
Yeah.
question?
Yeah.
Because really, you answered like all of the things that we were thinking we really
Yeah,
wanted you to
every
answer.
single one.
You literally answered all of them in a short period of time. So, thank you for all of that information.
Yeah,
Thank you. I think I talk a lot.
It's
nice.
okay. I mean, I've been known to talk a lot too. It's okay.
This is a typical question and probably one that you've been asked before. But it's so important for others to hear this because everyone might have a different spin, or your advice might be, I don't know, it comes from you and you
Yeah.
might inspire one person. But what
Hmm.
advice, especially, women, because there are fewer of us in manufacturing and in construction and even in tech,
Yes.
in certain positions, leadership especially. But what advice would you give to someone considering the construction industry, say construction, architecture, engineering? Um,
Yep, yep. And you're gonna hear a lot more about women, because I am a woman. I'm a woman of color, right?
Hmm.
And
mm-hmm,
I am here to support many like me and us here in this
Hmm.
industry. I think the first things first is we need to, like, and I'll say women first, and then we can talk in general as well. Like, we need to understand that we have certain skills and leverage those skills, right? Before even thinking that I need to learn this, I need to learn that. I think many people don't realize that um, modern construction values diverse skill sets, right? So whether it's something as simple as project management experience, or you could be very tech savvy, there are ways that you can already add value to this industry. So let's not overthink it. I think women overthink a lot
We do.
in terms of how, we just need to be self-assured. I have to say that, right?
Hmm.
That doesn't mean we
Yeah,
are arrogant. We need to just be self-assured, and
I like
make
that.
sure that make
mm-hmm.
sure that we value the skills that we have today. We are confident that we can add value to this industry or any industry that we put our mind to, right? And then
Hmm.
go in with an open mind and there are some practical steps that I would say, research the companies, look for mentorship programs. Doesn't have to be
Yes.
within your company. It could be totally outside, like you gals, right? We
Yeah.
find us. Trust me, there's so many women
Yes.
out there I have
They're
seen
Mm-hmm.
ready to
in my
answer your
career.
questions.
Yes, yes. Like, you lend a hand, right? And a lot of
Hmm.
women are there ready to do that for
Or
you.
Yes.
be your ally, right?
Yes,
Talk
Yes.
about you
absolutely.
when you're not in the
Yes.
room.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
I think that first things first, value what you have, and there's a lot more to learn. And some of these, even the bigger companies. That's what I cannot speak for a lot of smaller companies, but I know the bigger companies out there are now bringing more women in the room. When I do some Kaizen events, I see women in the room, unlike even like 6 years ago. So
Hmm.
things are
Agree.
changing. I promise
Agree.
things are changing. Things are changing fast, and also for good. We just need to make sure, as I said, we need to be confident and not overthink that whether I am capable enough. If we don't need
Right.
to have self doubt. We
Just be
are we are
yourself.
enough.
Hmm.
Yes, yes.
You're
And so
smart. You're
exactly,
capable. You're
exactly,
yes, just the way you
absolutely.
are.
Absolutely. And take that first step. Take that leap. Go talk to
Yes.
these firms.
Yes.
I'm sure they'll find easy three skills that you have that they can leverage today
Yes.
as
Easy.
is.
If
Right?
only three,
Yes. And
right?
when you get started, find your tribe, find
Yeah.
your community, stay
Yeah.
connected, take as much as you can, and be ready to give. Lend
Hmm.
a hand to bring another woman back,
Have
or
an open mind. Instead of
exactly.
thinking of things that you can't do, be open
Yes.
minded about all the things. Listen, be a good listener so that you can add your value. Love
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Hmm. That's great advice. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for being on our podcast. Please share with our audience how they can get in touch with you or maybe even reach out and want to do business with you or be mentored, get advice.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I am more than happy to talk to you. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I am on Insta. Even if you drop an inbox to my company's website, which is Merlin AI, I would get back to you. I cannot promise that I can get back to you the same day, but I promise I will get back to you. I do read my inboxes. Sometimes it takes longer. Lately, it has taken longer because I'm trying to do a lot of stuff at the same time, but I promise I get back to you. And if you are looking for advice, if you are looking for I don't know, to learn more about this industry or even to be working with us, I'm always open to talking to you, um, online. Call me, we'll set up a Zoom call and we'll chat.
And that's true. I got to be on Zoom with Sneha recently. So, Sneha, your wisdom made
Mm,
a huge difference in us today. And I know it's going to make a huge difference on our audience.
yes.
Thank
Thank you
you.
again.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.